Well, hey guys, here I am standing in the Creal Springs City Park, which is a few of the remnants of the Creal Springs Ozark Hotel that was here. It's kind of on the land that was on, and you can see one of the springs behind me there. But stay tuned as we go through this photo montage. As it goes through, there are a lot of images that will give you a really good idea of what Creal Springs was really like back at the turn of the 20th century. So hang on. I hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think.
Here we are standing on what is now called Railroad Street, because this is where the railroad ran through Creal. And as we look over here, we will now see the volunteer fire department. And this fire department is basically standing where the depot was. So this is where all of the trains would come into Creal, and people would board and unboard to go to the resorts and the seminary and anything else they wanted to see here in town. We are now in the area of the overhead bridge. It is no longer a wooden bridge, but is now a road that many people drive across every day. But if we come down here and get down toward the middle, and we look to our left, we can see where the train track used to go through down below. Go over to the other side. And once again, we can see the trains used to go through down below where this bridge is now a vehicular bridge instead of a pedestrian bridge. This is the area where the original Ozark Hotel stood. There's the park in the background where all of the other pieces were, and we'll look at that in a minute. But this is the area where we would have found the original Ozark Hotel and where we would have come when we got off the train. Looking this way is where we would have seen the wells, and the bathhouse would have been up behind this shelter, somewhere up in that area. Not 100% exactly sure where it stood, but it was right in this area because this is where all the wells are. And in fact, the sign says one of the wells was actually under Route 166, which would have been right over here somewhere, is where that well number 7 would have been. They've actually reconstructed a couple of these well shelters over a couple of the wells. I don't remember exactly which numbers these are. It could be 1 and 2. But these are the shelters that we see in that previous image where it shows all the shelters over the wells. So here we are on Blue Avenue looking east as it looks today. As you can see, it looks a little bit different than the previous image. A lot of the old buildings have been torn down. And this is Seminary Street. Now we're on the other side looking back toward Seminary Street, back on the other side of this empty field. And somewhere out in this empty field is where the seminary would have been located. I don't know exactly where. There's no foundations left that I know of, and I'm not sure exactly how far over this way it was. But somewhere out in this area is where the seminary would have been located. Well, we're not exactly sure where the original Creal School stood. It says it was northeast of the overhead bridge, so there's the overhead bridge. And northeast of the overhead bridge would be somewhere in this neighborhood over here. So I'm not exactly sure how far down the road it may have been, but somewhere in this area is where the original Creal School was located. In 1912, this school building was built, and this front addition was added on later. I'm not exactly sure when the gym was built, but this was the Creal School after the school in the other location. And today, this is where the children go to school. This is a couple miles outside of town on the Lake of Egypt Road, and this is the Adams School. And so this is the third school in Creal Springs history. Here on this corner is where the lumberyard used to be. It's now just a big empty lot. And the lumberyard used to fill up this entire lot right here. Right here on this corner is where Maroney's hardware store used to be. So it has changed several times over the years, but this was Maroney's hardware store. And here's where that gas station stood today. About the only remainder you can see of it is there's a bunch of gravel out here, and there's a couple entrances to the highway that are no longer really useful, except for by the people that live here now. And so this is now someone's front yard. Used to be a gas station. This is the DX gas station. It has changed a little bit. It's been added on to. It's gone through several different things. The original building was much smaller than this. It has been added on to several times when it was a restaurant, and now it's a liquor store. And so this is where that gas station used to be. Yes, Creal Springs really did used to have a car dealership, and this is where it was located. It is now here where this empty lot is. That Southern Charms building is now where the previous post office used to be. So right here is where the car dealership used to be, and after it was a car dealership, it was turned into a pool hall for a while, and so it has been several things before it was turned into an empty lot. Here's what the Assembly of God Church looks like today. I'm actually not sure it's still a church at this point, because there's no signage that says Assembly of God on it anywhere, and it looks like On the end, it may have a garage, so this may be a business storage location, or it could be somebody's house. I'm not sure. Here in this empty lot right beside the current post office is where the bank used to stand. So that big white building would have been a two-story building sitting right here, and it was actually there after this post office was built and was torn down a few years after the post office was built.
Well, y'all, that has been our short series on Creal Springs, Illinois history. I hope that you have found it interesting, informative, and kind of, especially if you're from this area, kind of makes you rethink what this little wide spot in the road is all about. And I hope that you realize there are towns all over this country that have a history that you might never have been aware of. So we're gonna keep looking at these places. Now, this one was near and dear to our heart because this is home. We live very close to this area. We go through this town every day. We're here sometimes every day. It's just a lot going on. But the Creal Springs Wonder Water reunion is getting ready to happen later on in the month of September. And if you happen to catch this before that happens, I urge you to come and participate. It's really kind of fun. So come and check out some of the other things we do. And if you have any ideas, places that we ought to look at and learn about, let us know. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.